So before we take a look at our first xslt style sheet, let's take a look at some of the most common xslt elements that you'll be using when you write your style sheets. The first, of course, is the style sheet root tag. This is the tag that encloses the entire style sheet. And inside your style sheet, you'll have one or more of these template tags. And again, you'll either give them a name or a matching expression or both. And these determine how and when the template is applied to the XML data. One of the more important tags is the value of tag. And the value of tag extracts the value of the node that is selected by the XPath expression that you provide in the select attribute. And we'll see an example of this coming up shortly. You can also use the XSL attribute tag to insert attributes into the resulting document that comes out of the transformation process. And when we look at the examples in the upcoming exercise, we'll see how this is used. Similarly, you can use the XSL text tag to insert literal text into the resulting document as well. So the attribute and text tags are used to create new output in the result of the transform. The XSL for each tag is used to loop over XML data that's in the source XML document. So, for example, if you have XML data that contains a series of repeating tags and you want to style each one of them, you can use the for each tag, and the select attribute will point down to the node set that represents those repeating tags. And again, we'll demonstrate this in the upcoming exercise. You can also use the XSL if tag to apply some logic in your style sheets. This is where XSLT really begins to shine over something like CSS. Your style sheet can actually look at the data coming in from the source document, and based on the values that's in the XML data, it can decide what type of styles to apply to the output. And XSL if is one of those ways of doing that, and the test attribute contains the condition that you want to test against. Another way of using logic in your style sheets is to use the XSL choose, when, and otherwise tags, and these along with the if tag will be demonstrated in the upcoming exercise. You can also define a sort inside your style sheet. So again, this is where XSL really begins to show its power over CSS. So if you have XML data coming in, and you want the resulting data coming out, whether it's HTML or whatever it is you're turning your XML into, you can have the output sorted. And again, the select attribute points to the node that you want to sort the data on. And you can decide whether you want the data to be sorted ascending or descending. And again, in the upcoming exercises, we'll show you how this is done. You can call templates as well. This is another way of applying a template inside of a style sheet. You can either leave it to the xslt engine to look at the match attribute on the templates to determine when to apply them, or inside the style sheet you can use call template to apply a template whenever you want. So before we take a look at the exercise, let's take a look at a simple example xslt template. So this here is a template file, and you can see that at the root is the style sheet tag, and it has the XSL namespace defined on it. This particular style sheet has one template defined inside of it. And in this case, it's got a match attribute, and you can see the match attribute is a / and then the word simple tag. So recall from our previous chapter on XPath that this expression means look for the simple tag element starting at the root of the document. So this template will be matched to the root simple tag. And inside the template, I have a bunch of HTML code. And inside the HTML code, down in the body, you'll see that there's an XSL value of tag with its select set to the word text with parentheses. So, okay, let's take a look at how this template would be applied. So let's imagine that this is the XML data that we're going to apply the style sheet to. So first, notice that the way the XSL style sheet is associated with the XML file is by using the same XML style sheet directive that we use to associate CSS style sheets, only in this case, the type has been changed to text/XSL whereas in the previous chapter it was text/CSS. And the href is pointing to a file named simple.xslt, which is what we would save the style sheet in for this example. And you can see that the XML data consists only of one tag, the simple tag at the root, with the string hello there inside of it. So the result of this transformation would be that the template would be applied, and the value of tag in the style sheet would select the text content of the tag that it's matched up against, which in this case, if you look at the match attribute, is the simple tag that's at the root. So the result of this would be an HTML document with the contents of the H1 replaced by the content that's inside the simple tag in the XML data file. So this is a very simple example, but at this point we should take a look at some more real-world XSLT examples, and that's the focus of the next exercise.